Hello and welcome. Rick187 here, and we are back with some more combat mission Battle for Normandy. We are continuing the Scottish Corridor campaign. So we're on to a new mission, and indeed a new day. We're into day 2 of Operation Epsom. And this time we are joining the 2nd Argyll and Sutherlands as they push for their objective to secure the bridge across the Odon. However, before we can get onto the bridge itself, we've been tasked with securing the village of Tourmauville, which is what we're up to in this first mission. So at our disposal, we have currently on map, we have C Company consisting of usual 3 rifle platoons and supporting mortar and brain attachments. We've also got a forward observer and a sniper team. In additional support, we've got some scouts, and we also have complete with brain carriers and some 81mm off-map mortars. Arriving later in the day, so after about 15 minutes, we've got B Company are turning up, again with 3 rifle platoons. At about 20 minutes, we're going to get some additional supporting units in terms of some 81mm mortars, and we're also going to get some 4.2 inch mortars at that stage as well. And finally, at 25 minutes, we're going to get 2 6-pounder anti-tank guns. The objective that we have been tasked with is primarily securing Tourmauville and ensuring that B Company exit the map in as much strength as possible. As well as that, we've been alerted that some Hitler Youth elements retain a presence in Tourmauville, and we've been tasked with clearing that out and leaving a force to secure that as well. So in general, my kind of initial thoughts, initial plan will be to first, I'd quite like to secure this central area. So primarily I'm going to send out obviously some scouting elements to see what I can spot, and then get one of my platoons to secure the edge of the wood and into the firm to Tourmauville, and hopefully at that point we'll get some line of sight into Tourmauville itself. We have been made aware that there is likely to be an MG nest in the centre of town in a kind of wooden bunker, and I'd like to get some eyes on that so we can try and knock it out with artillery. Speaking of artillery, we do have 2 TRPs at our disposal, target reference points. I placed the first one in amongst these woods on the edge of Tourmauville, because I think that's a likely location for some defensive elements, so it'd be good to kind of hammer that on the way in. And likewise, I've placed it just in this wooded area just outside of Tourmauville. We're not expecting any armour in Tourmauville, although we have been made aware we've seen armoured movements along this road throughout the day. We don't know if they're going to be present in the field. Briefing also states that the 29th Panzer Division, who are defending Tourmauville in light strength, are set up more on the kind of outskirts of this edge of the northern road rather than in the town itself. So general plan of attack, as I said, scout out this initial area. We want to send in one platoon to secure the edge of this wood and this farmhouse to ensure we have control over the area. I'd then like to take my other 2 platoons of C Company, push kind of one round this flank, and one a more direct attack, although we'll have to play it by ear and see what we can find at that stage. Ideally, take minimal casualties, leave one platoon behind in Tourmauville, and then pull back the second for a push on Tourmauville. Meanwhile, B Company will have turned up. I'm going to use them a little bit in this mission, probably just to clear up to the edge of town, and then I'll push in with the 2 remaining platoons of C Company, and we'll just get B Company off the map. That's the rough plan. As I say, no plan survives contact with the enemy, so we will have to see how it all pans out. My initial moves is just, I've got some scouts heading off. They're going to fan out and really get some eyes on this initial area before I move my troops out in any kind of number. I've also got a sniper team just coming around this side to see if we can't scoot out on the south side of the village to see again if we can get any eyes in there. I'll probably hold off using my artillery until we're kind of getting ready to make a push on either objective. Important thing to note, and it was stressed firmly in the briefing, is that this mission is going to form a couple of missions which all take place on the same day. I'm going to guess the next mission is going to be the kind of seizing the bridge of Odin, or it might be 2 or 3 down the line. Either way, the ammunition of our support mortars is shared between missions. So although we've got obviously full rounds now, If we use it all on this mission, we get none for the next one. And similarly, our troops ammunition is going to be carried over, so we need to be a bit cautious about how free we are with our weapons and not to burn through it all. But yes, that's general plan. So what I intend to do is probably cut away here. I'm going to let my scouts do initial movements, and then once we make that first enemy contact, we'll bring you guys in, and then we'll see how the land lies and how we're going to approach from there. So I'll catch you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. So 6.5 minutes have transpired since I left you. And been fairly uneventful, although we have just had our first German spot. So as planned, my sniper team pushed into this field and my scouts pushed across the railway. We did get we came under some sporadic MG fire, first initially with scouts, and then essentially as each a sniper team, and then as each of the scout team was crossing this railway, they came under a few bursts. Fortunately, no casualties were taken, but we didn't get any kind of firm spot at the time. Judging from all the angles where the MG was firing upon, I actually thought they were in the second story of this building here. And so to give some guys some support, I actually brought round a brain carrier around this side and a brain carrier around this side, just use a bit of a brain platform to put some suppressive fire down before we attempted to cross the railway with our first platoon of riflemen. However, as you will see from the map, we've just had our first spot solidify, and he is in fact in this building right here. So we shall see. So we'll have to adjust our suppression accordingly, and hopefully this brain carrier doesn't get too beat up in the meantime, because we are targeting the wrong building. So I have not watched the rest of this minute, so we should do that now and see if we get any ill effects. Oh, I think he may actually be going for a rifleman. So he does have he's got in a good position in terms of enfilading all down this railway line, which is why we want to make sure he is suppressed before we push across it. Because we got lucky with the scouts, but obviously they're fairly small units, and we may not get quite so lucky once, you know, we've got 10 guys running across, and that's a much easier target to hit. It's interesting that we lost that spot again, but happy to switch it around. So one thing I'm not sure on, and let's try it. So we've got the brain carrier itself, which can issue a target command. However, the brain machine gun in the brain carrier is operated by the unit that's in it. In this case, I've actually loaded up with 2 IC, so I've got a blooming captain here, Captain Atkinson, manning my brain gun, which is probably a little bit silly, but there you go. So I don't know whether that order will be enough to use a brain gun, or if you've got to issue an order to the actual troops in it, but in which case obviously these guys will stand up and fire the rifles, which is not really what I was after. So we'll see. So I'll issue the command to the carrier, not to the troops, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully we can suppress enough to get our sniper in. Oh, I've just noticed that as well. Is that alive? No. Thank God for that. Man, I got real panicky there. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, okay, so question is, do I want to push across straight away? Well, let's say these guys are the furthest away. Let's give them a pause command. Give them, say, 15 seconds. And then get yourselves so yeah, probably somewhere around here should be fine. So our scouts have come quite a long way and have not spotted anything. Well, one thing I should be doing on you guys, which I haven't done yet, is to the usual target art tricks. I don't want you picking a fight when we're miles away. That should be fine. You're about to come up, so actually I'll maybe let you finish that movement to see if you can see anything through the hedge. Well, I'm going to get you guys to move into the middle of this field, somewhat precariously, I do appreciate, but should be okay. And you are just scooting your way along towards these houses. Again, fairly cautiously, there's not much support. It'd be good to get this platoon essentially in along here to provide some support if we do run across anything. I had brought this brain carrier. I thought maybe they'd get a view, but nah, not to be. That's fine. These guys are of the this platoon over here, which is no, it's company. Right, there you go. 13th Blue, Lieutenant Lumley here. So they're just kind of holding position, waiting to decide what we do with them. All right, well we'll keep around for this next minute, see if we can get these guys across the railway without incident, and hopefully we can get some eyes on. Or yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's obviously in a building defensive, but hopefully a couple of Bren guns. Oh, and looks like that answers that question. So he is opening up with the Bren guns. There you go. You can issue order to the vehicle, even though it doesn't show the Bren gun here. That's good to see. So do need to be careful, because if there is an MG nest, as we suspect, probably somewhere around this main road, obviously it'll have a reasonable good line of sight into this field, because this is just a small hedge. It's not it doesn't block line of sight really. So I do have to watch out with these initial guys. It looks like we're keeping this guy suppressed relatively well. Yeah, and these guys are getting across okay with the incident. Excellent. Okay, in that case, I will continue with a plan again of pushing this first platoon into this area to try and secure it. And then if we make any firmer spots or come into any stiff resistance, I will bring you back in for the action. But there's no need for you to hang about and watch several minutes of my guys slowly walk across a map. And we are back, and I'm happy to report we've finally made a spot, or maybe not finally, but we have made a spot on the German bunker collecting Tourmauville. Interesting though, it wasn't spotted by those I might expect, so I still have my scouts kind of probing out into this orchard. And indeed this HQ unit of the scouts came under a little bit of pretty ineffectual machine gun fire, so we didn't take any casualties. And I thought it might be them that made the spot, but actually if we click on the bunker you'll see that it's this Jeep with a Pioneer unit sitting in it somehow manages to make that spot, which is quite impressive when we go down and have a look at them, because they are, if I can get myself in position, sitting quite thoroughly behind a couple of trees and about 500 meters away. So, but fair play, I'll take that spot. Thank you chaps. I did also realise that in the Jeeps, I had thought they were just Jeeps, but I was having another closer look, and I do have an assault team in here with some demo charges and another Pioneer team in here, so I'm going to get these guys to go out and continue my scooting about. So I'll just throw those orders in now since we're here. So please get out your vehicle and make your way across this ravine. We've had no more sight nor sound of our MG friend, so either he is thoroughly suppressed or indeed he is dead. I'm going to keep this Bren carrier, keep up the fire rate just until we've got all of Lieutenant McEwen's platoon, that's right, across the road here. I will just jump into the next minute and we'll maybe do a little bit talk about what's going on, because I'm not expecting too much action for this. So we are continuing to move Lieutenant McEwen's 15th platoon in. Again, we want to really take possession of this wood and this farmhouse. With the bunker, obviously there's good line of sight down into this orchard, although visibility might be a bit of an issue, so I'm just going to bring the troops around this way, and then once they're shielded by these buildings, we'll bring them across. Meanwhile, I'm going to get the scouts just to sweep the southern edge of this wood and stick their noses in towards this farmhouse. Doesn't look like there's anyone there at the minute. And hopefully that's the way it'll stay. I'm surprised. I was expecting maybe to find a little bit of resistance in the edge of these woods. It would be a good place to kind of hold us up, but that hasn't materialised. Yes, in response to bunker, I have got my forward reserver, so I've moved him into this building here, where I'm hopeful he can just about get a line of sight onto that, and we'll drop some put some howitzer rounds onto him, which should hopefully be able to take care of him. And then meanwhile on the, I believe this is that's the HQ. you're all the way back here on the 14th platoon, so it's Lieutenant Parker's platoon. Starting to just bring them forward again, especially if we've neutralised this machine gun nest. I have a rough plan at the minute. We'll see how it goes, to kind of put one section, and probably the Bren section as well, on somewhere along this hedge, to provide a little bit of a kind of fire base cover, and then to swing the other two sections in from the south. We do have this sniper who's edging his way, or has been edging his way along this hedge, and just to see what we can see in terms of resistance. Nothing spotted thus far, but we'll maybe give him a couple minutes to make the spot. So again, nothing particularly interesting. One thing I do want to check will be this artillery round. So before I do any further cuts, if my machine will play ball. Every time. Do you know, it was behaving much better actually. I'd in setting up my Commission Black Sea, I'd realised that so by default you have the game's inbuilt shaders are on, and they don't do a lot for graphic performance, but they do a lot for actual computer performance, and generally in that they nerf it quite badly. So I had turned them off from a Black Sea, and that made me ponder, had I done the same for Battle for Normandy? And indeed, when I'd been mixing around from back in my live stream days to change my settings, I'd actually inadvertently switched them back on again. I turned them off and see a much better performance boost. And it had been behaving itself, although it's for whatever reason today it's acting up a little bit again. But thankfully that's not too much of a loss. Aside from we'll lose a minute from our artillery attack, which is frustrating. But we did have enough kind of multi-turn orders that our troops are continuing to move out. And once... oh, I didn't tell them to dismount. Right. Okay. You guys are still driving around. Yeah, glad I caught that. No, don't do that. I want you to... dismount, please. And then we'll get you to go across on foot. So, what I was going to do before we cut away any further was to check this artillery target. Right. Howitzers. Point target. So you'll take 9 minutes. And you can... perfect. What do we think about this? How many... I mean, it depends how accurate we can be. It's quite a priority target, so I'm tempted. I don't want to use... got 140 rounds. That's going to do us this mission and next mission, so I don't want to go completely ham. But I think I can use the mortars for a general artillery bombardment of the edge of town. Not that I'm sure if there's anything in these woods, but I think I'll do it anyway. So I'm tempted to say, well, actually, let's go... let's use all the guns we have available. But let's do it on medium and then possibly short. And hope the idea that we just kind of saturate that area. At least one of those rounds is going to hit and knock it out.
Hello, fire mission, over.
That's going to be the that's the logic anyway. We'll see if it transpires that way. So apart from that, I'm going to keep, I'd say, bring in 15th platoon in to take up its position, keep sweeping the scouts, and then just keep kind of poking the edges. I probably aren't going to make a really big push until I've kind of confirmed I've got that bunker taken out. Although if we do come in from the south, it's not much of an issue. We can hit it from the side with a P round or something similar, or use grenades. So with that, I'll put another cut in, and I'll come back whenever we've found ourselves at a bit more stiff resistance, or we've got 15th platoon in position. So a few more minutes have gone past, fairly uneventfully. No casualties inflicted thus far, and we are just in the middle of a turn replay. But I did just want to bring in, because we have made a couple more spots. So we have had a friend pop up in this first building. And it's just a standard German infantryman with a bolt action rifle. No other spot of his machine gun friends. Either he's still suppressed or he is injured. And we have also had a spot of some infantry running through town by... Actually, who made that spot? These guys, this infantry. So my team, this is part of can't remember now, 14th company I think, platoon sorry, who are getting ready for the kind of southern advance, but it looks like they're responding to our troop movements and are kind of reinforcing the southern edge. So I guess it's some amount of an infantry platoon, or infantry section I should say, may or may not be full strength, so we'll see what comes out there. Meanwhile, B company has turned up, just leaving them sitting in the back for now. I think once we've kind of started our assault in earnest and cleared the way a little bit, I'll be more comfortable bringing them in. Apart from that, not made any further contact, but I'm going to just let this minute run and we'll see what else pops up. So these guys aren't on... oh, it's a fire mission going out. I was about to say these guys aren't on a target area mission, but that might not be true. But we have been bringing up some infantry support. Let's see, ready to try and push in to secure these southern buildings. Before I do that, oh, there's lots of infantry being spotted over here. I'm going to want to drop a whole bunch of artillery in on this forest. We do have a TRP in here, so that should be nice and easy, although it looks like they might be taking positions in amongst the houses, which makes sense. Not that artillery is going to do much against those, but I think we'll still drop a few rounds in here just to make sure it's clear. And that will allow us to actually come up all the way up to this edge unopposed, which would be nice. And as we heard, artillery should be coming in, so hopefully we can get some spots on that relatively quickly. Let's jump into the command phase. So we've got, yeah, 13th coming up. So I'm really, my current thoughts, we'll have these guys, I think it's just push in fairly head on. They can kind of take positions up along this hedge, and then we'll see about clearing out these buildings. Potentially supported from a bit of a distance by, where are they? These guys who are now coming in. Just slowly making their way through. And we'll send them in to secure this farmhouse. We've got one in the woods here. He's just going to hang about, and we'll get our scouts to, again, one hit up to the northern edge, and our headquarter units, our headquarter scout, just to come over and scout this side. I've been very tentatively pushing these guys forward, just on a slow crawl, just to see if they can spot anything. Obviously, I don't want it to get to the point where they themselves get spotted, as that's going to end pretty badly for them. I think I'm tempted to try and scooch them forward just one more square. See if they can't crawl into position. And I've also been getting my sniper team to crawl forward. I don't know if they've got to their destination just yet. Yeah, they have. They are, and they are ready. So we'll get these guys to keep going. I'd quite like to push them probably to somewhere over about here, just so we've got a bit of sight into the back side of the village, and also just check out this house here. So I don't want to do too much at once because it's pretty tiring work, but we'll keep them doing that. And hopefully we can act as a bit more in the ways of eyes and ears. Good. We'll maybe just jump on the next minute actually. We'll keep you guys around for this one, see if they get anything more of interest, see if our rounds start coming in. As we're kind of heading up towards the action. I've got one section based in this hedge line here, but the trees are pretty prohibitive in terms of what they can and can't see. And we're just bringing up a second up to this hedge line. Might be worthwhile, just while we've got this brain carrier support, trying to jump forward. Although I don't get too ahead of myself. Need to get my timings right with make sure I've got the artillery support. Luckily, because it's on a TRP, I think it's like a 3-minute call-in time. But I also need to make sure that this bunker is dealt with, because I don't want to have an MG nest coming in at my sides. Looks like we have silenced that house for now. And once our guys are less in the open, I'll probably come off the targeted area, and we might pop their heads up again. That's going to be okay. Okay, back into command phase. How are these guys getting on? Yeah, they're still pushing up, that's good. Everyone's just going to slowly walking in, that's okay. Essentially, these guys are going to walk, hopefully, all the way up to this farmhouse. I would like my scouts just to double check there's nothing Nothing untoward, so I'll get you guys to come right to the edge of this forest. Just move yourselves. Probably somewhere. Probably somewhere like there. That might be a little bit exposed. See what you can clap your eyes on, just to make sure that our section that wanders up this way aren't going to meander into a hail of bullets from anywhere. Meanwhile, our Piat team will just get them to move up, just so they're supported by this other section. But I don't really have any particular job for them at the minute. Meanwhile, we have our 13th platoon. You really have to think about how we want to push in. It really is probably going to be... I'm just thinking, is there any gap in these? Yeah, there's a gap here, so we can come in, kind of push in, probably kind of through these trees into the centre. Something like that, and then we can push in further to these houses behind. Hopefully with a little bit of an angle from our supporting platoon over here. On our spotter, what's the timing looking like? Uh, 3 minutes. Excellent. The question is, when do I want to bring in this? I'm okay to wait, actually. I'll give it maybe another 1 minute. No, maybe another 2 before I call in the fire mission, just to make sure we kill this. You guys are moving in, that's fine. So maybe if we can get the last section, might be an idea to bring these guys up and eventually just have them leapfrog. And that's pretty exposed is the only thing, isn't it? I think I'm going to have to break these guys down into smaller groups to do it. Spread them out a little bit. So, and then also make sure I don't swing too far right and come into the firing arc of that bunker. I would like to bring the brain gun in to support against this house, just in case, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I think you're going to be... yeah, you should be okay there. And that should give you a line of fire if those guys continue to cause us problems. And we'll bring the mortar up in just a supporting position. I'm just kind of walking my guys a minute, because we're not really hurting in terms of time or rush. I'm okay just to kind of slowly try and build up. That's all well and good. Who do you belong to? I think you're part of... yeah, these guys over here. You've been left behind. Right. Would you please make your way to them? Hopefully there's no call for your anti-tank capabilities, but you never know. So, if we brought you guys over to this kind of position here, how dangerous is that for the bunker? There's quite a lot in the way. I think you guys can get there and get your heads down and not be seen. We'll push across and then just line up, if we can, on this hedgeway. Good. And I'm going to want a Bren team over here as well. I think, out of interest, what's your sight lines like? Absolutely terrible, okay. We are going to want to bring you over. But I'll wait, I'll not move too many over in one go. Meanwhile, I somewhat... what's what I'm looking for? Tempting fate a little bit. Brought these guys over in a jeep, just to get them out of the way quicker. And they did not attract any fire, which was good. Alright, let's push forward for the next minute, see where we get to. Hopefully we'll start to see some shells falling in and around this bunker. I think we should be in a position to stop his... because consistent firing command, although he still has absolutely loads of ammo, which is always good. Again, I haven't spotted anything over here, which is interesting. I wonder, really, must be dug in quite far back. We do have still over an hour left to go, so I'm not feeling too bad about the time. I think it can be quite useful to take a slow start to these things. I'm sure it'll hot up as soon as we get anywhere near Tourmauville. I'd like to at least get a position on the edge of town without taking casualties. Fire to rounds incoming just yet. Oh, I can just hear them coming. They're on their way. Right. Let's go back into the command phase. And let's have a look at this sniper. You guys are fine. You are tiring, so I'll not push you too far. I can just get you over, yeah, just to there, and then I'll give you a minute to catch your breath before I keep scooting up. Do I want to use this time to call in the artillery? No, I'm not going to do it. So I'm feeling comfortable with time at the minute. So what I'm going to do is hold the 3-minute call until we get to get this bunker. Because I don't, you know, there's no way I'm going to push guys across this field while that guy's active. That would just be all sorts of silliness. Right, we have those guys continuing to push up. They're happy there. These guys are okay. I'm going to get you to move into the woods as well. Excellent. We have our scout. It's almost at the far edge of the woods. Let's see, I'm going to push him forward. I'm using a terrain mod for the foliage and for the ground, and while it does look good, it does make life hard to see sometimes. Let's see if you guys can't push it all the way up into there. See what you can see. Excellent. Not really doing anything with these pioneers at the minute, but I think that's okay. Really, we're just holding and waiting for this attack. Alright, let's go ahead with one more minute. Hopefully we'll see some of our shells start to fall. Ooh. Sure, that was not where we were aiming, but that could definitely have caused a bit of damage. So I'm not going to complain about that too much. Hopefully he saw the explosion. Definitely want to keep some of those rounds for the next mission. Well, everyone's slowly moving in. These guys are doing okay. No spots, no fire incoming. Wishing him of that. I could have swore I heard a different machine gun noise there. Tell you, these off-target rounds aren't worse than they were. Okay. Alright, so it might take a little bit of time to get on target, but that's okay. We'll prepare our attack, and I'll probably off camera start giving orders to get these guys up. I think we're quite happy. We can kind of bring them. In fact, no, I'll wait. There's no point in rushing it. We've got time. Wait till this bunker's knocked out, and then we can pretty much with impunity bring them into this area and get them ready to head towards the company exit. However, that is going to bring us to the end of this video. So a bit of a slow start. I think just kind of the early positionings, early spots, getting the kind of plan in place. I'm pretty happy how things have gone. 20 minutes in, we've got a reasonable plan of attack on Tourmauville. We haven't taken a single casualty, which for me is highly unusual, so I'm pretty pleased about that. And we've got kind of good area of the map we've got control over. So in the next video that drops out, we'll really kind of focus in on our attack at Tourmauville. And yeah, a bit more exciting, and hopefully we can deal with all the Hitler youth that's hiding in there and prepare ourselves for the final push towards Tourmauville. But thanks for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed it, even if it's a slightly slower pace in this episode, and I will catch you all in the next one.